Welcome to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sports.
Yes, guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sport. Game week 21. Well, as y'all can see from the thumbnail and as y'all can see on social media, chaos, 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 chaos. Flags, more red flags than the X, as you can see from our caption. Real pressure. But, of course, we are here to try and help you guys through it. We are here to see if we can help maneuver this game week. I'm not alone. I'm joined by, of course, our Manu expert and fantasy lord himself, Paul. Paul, thanks for coming
Hey,
through, bro.
afternoon, what's up? Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
Paul, how do we? What's the mental state? What's your mental state right now, Paul? Because you open your app Monday and you see the red flags, the yellow flags, just flags. What's
That's
your first
flags.
thought, impression? How you supposed to feel?
I feel like I'm a carnival fat. Just flags, flags, seeing flags. Every time you open up your app, and every day is
Bro.
somebody else injured. You know, this week was Bowen, this week was Trent. You know, it just it's just plenty to deal with. But what we gonna
It's
do?
plenty to do it. It's plenty a lot
Yeah.
to do it indeed. And as I rightfully said, okay, Salah, Son, we all were prepared for that. At least I want to say weeks in advance. We were mentally prepped for Son and Salah going. We were prepped. Most of us don't have Salah on our team right now. We're fighting with Alvarez and Foden. Bam. No problem. Because we have Trent and we have Bowen. Nobody studied anything. No problems. I myself was planning just to bench Salah and maybe sell Son or bench the two of them and roll. I have no issue with that. That was my crazy plan. You were suggesting keep Salah, sell Son, and they could bring in a Palmer or something, right? Now, let's
Yeah,
look
yeah.
deeper than that, Paul. Let's look deeper than that. So you tell yourself, all right, no Salah, no Son. I could sell Son. I already have Bowen. Maybe you might already have Palmer. I could bring in Olise. That way, not too expensive. And then, bam, Olise gonna get injured. All right,
Get right.
no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Not bad again. Right? You're still cool. You're still cool because you have Foden, you have Saka, you have Palmer. All right, no problem. I was
Bowen.
son, Bowen, right? You
Yeah,
still have Bowen.
yeah.
Well, I get to that now.
Yeah.
You still have Bowen. You're like, all right, man. And I still have Trent. I have Trent. I have Poro and Estupinian just came back. No problem. Alvarez banging, Solanke banging. I have Watkins. So I don't need Haaland yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? KDB play 15 minutes on assistance. Say, like, all right, man, things looking okay. No problem. Then
Yeah,
bam.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bowen. Bowen get injured. All right. They say it's not looking too bad. It might be okay. So you're not panicking yet. You tell yourself, all right, no problem. Boom, scan. What, yesterday was it all or day before scan happened? Might be a little worse off than we thought. All right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I still have Trent. I still have my Palmer, my Foden, my Saka. I'm not worried too much yet. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay. Then Trent get injured. And Trent was not flagged up until I want to say yesterday afternoon because he was on the app. When you refresh on the app, he was fine, but there was news trickling that he wasn't injured. There's an injured out. Bowen is yellow flag, but then Trent went straight to red, so you know it was serious. Definitely time to panic now. So you have Bowen flagged on your team. Salah's son, if you didn't sell them yet, Trent, flag. So Zinchenko flagged if you had those kind of fellas on your team.
That's me.
So pressure right now in the camp. And then you have fellas who going away to AFCON as well, going away. That's why Salah and Son are flag. So your Kabores, your fodder and all flags. So you have no bench. You have absolutely no bench because you might have Sufal Kabore, Trent. So Sufal Kabore, Trent, Son, Bowen.
Yeah. Real tricky.
Tricky. So all that we have to now try to maneuver and use that information to tackle this game week. It's not fair.
It really testing you. It's really fantasy football at its unpredictable finest, but it really testing that critical thinking, like what to do, how to do this,
How to do this. I like how you say that, the critical thinking, because now obviously we just got our renewed wildcard. So that's always an option. But of course, most of us, we rather save the chips later down the road, especially when there's a possible game week 25 double, maybe there's blank in 29, possibly, right? Big blank in 29. 29 is a huge blank. We'll talk about that because we would have liked Liverpool and Chelsea to lose these ties so that the blank would be so serious. But if they continue on, City continually, it's going to be a huge blank. There might be 2 games that week, right? It's going to be a huge blank that week. Then possible 35 double, possibly, because we still have guys, mind you, Luton, Bournemouth still have to play each other. City, Brentford still have to play each other. If Chelsea go through, Chelsea and Arsenal have to play each other very soon, 26 or 25, I believe it is. So they will have to, that's a blank there coming up, right? So that's a blank coming up there. So there's a lot of things to strategize and plan for. That I've said all that to say that is why I may just hold. If I have 8 players, I'm sticking with my 8 players. I'm not going to fuss too much because there's a lot of things to plan for, and I don't want to have only one free transfer, no transfers at all coming up, especially where most of my teams I just wildcarded not too long while, like 2 game weeks ago. So there's a lot of problems right now. But let's talk about something good for first now, Paul. So Paul, let's take a look back. This is your team here for game week 20. Walk us through, Paul. Walk us through it. 91. Well done. Talk to us.
Yeah. Well, there was a big week, but I was really happy with all my players return. My midfield especially. Well, I shouldn't say all my players, my defenders. It was pressure with the defenders, but the week started off real well with Cole Palmer. I should start by saying what I did before the week started. I knew a lot of people were focusing on that City Sheffield United matchup.
Yes.
But I didn't have Alvarez, so I had to try to figure out if I wanted to get Alvarez or to try and get a little more differential because everybody was going the Alvarez route. And so I decided to bring in Foden. I sold Gordon and I brought in Foden, as my transfer that week. There's just one transfer. And it paid off, for me. And I ended up getting the Foden. He didn't score, but he got the 2 assists. He got the full bonus points, So he was able to pull out 12. And it was just a good week. Everybody bang. It was Cole Palmer with the 2 goals and assists. Or if it wasn't Palmer, it was Saka with a goal. It was Son with a goal, And I think the biggest thing for me was putting the captaincy on Salah. I kept my faith. You know what? Salah going and come through this week, man. Salah had that hole in him. Everybody was trying to go Alvarez or Watkins and everything. I stayed true to form, and I say, you know what? Let me be patient. Let me stick it on who I believe could pull it off. And it was a good matchup. Liverpool against Newcastle. I mean, come on, Newcastle has been struggling, and you know how Liverpool does run it. Especially before the AFCON. I know Salah would have come good, so I ended up putting the captaincy on him, and thank God it worked out. I was feeling but one thing though, I was feeling it when he missed that penalty in the first half, when he was on -1. My heart was in my mouth. I was like, whoa, -2. I couldn't believe it. I was like, nah, boy. I was real coasting at that point in time. But thank God he ended up getting 2 goals and assists in the second half. And yeah, that was a big turnaround. And that was the major part of my week there. So yeah, good week.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
want a big shout out Instagram. So Nigel Dardon is asking best placement. We will get there. We will get there. And Trent, Naldo saying Trent injured and he made early transfers. So, and that's it. A lot of people in that predicament right now. They made early transfers. All
And you
right.
see that is why we always say don't make early transfers.
Yeah.
Wait, especially this out of all the game weeks, this was the one where you really had to be patient and wait because it had
Correct.
all these FA Cup games, the Carabao Cup, and
Yeah.
this elongated period from between game week 20 to game week 21, this break where anything could happen. Even if you're not in, you could get injured or you could get sick. So you had as hard as it was, you had to just wait it out, and
Yeah.
that's why we had you had to wait. You just had to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. All right. So this is the YouTube team. We would have wild carded last week. Um, Shout out Wendell, he's on the episode with me. 63 points, now 20 points on the bench because of Dottie and Ariola. So it was we captain Foden, so that kind of saved our blushes. Johnson, Jota, Watkins, and Alvarez scraping all the points after blanks from five assets. So, well, 6, including the keeper. So not too bad there, given this. Right? If everyone had bang, as always, as we say each week, it would have been more. But 63 on a wild card, I taking that, especially with what's going on, the climate with the players and all the craziness going on. So
Yeah,
I'm
not
not too
bad. Not
upset
bad.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what we look like right now. So
Yeah,
again, not as
yeah,
bad as some people.
just above
Right?
the average. Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's
not
good.
as bad as some people. Trent and Bowen flag. That is it. Because I guess of how differential we went,
You
saved us a
real,
little bit.
you
Yeah.
real get through. I wish
Yeah.
I had that. I wanted to have must see 6 flags to
Easy,
deal with.
easy. And
Yeah,
only one free
one.
transfer. So
Yeah.
me,
So
I need just I could easily bench these two or I definitely bench Trent for sure because I have Gabriel, put him on.
right,
I
right.
could and leave Bowen just in case Bowen plays and someone could always sub one. I'd rather do that. Because in case he
Yeah,
really
yeah,
plays,
yeah.
right? In case. But of course now he has moved. He has moved now to 50% because he was 75% at the start of the year, now he's 50%. So we'll see. Now,
Yeah.
before we get deep into it, I want to also explain something. These injuries, and of course AFCON and Asia Cup, besides messing us up, right? They're gonna mess up even further with the assets we choose because now a lot of teams' talisman are out. So, for example, West Ham going away to Sheffield now. Yes, easy peasy. But no Kudus, no Paqueta, no Bowen. And we've seen Sheffield give other teams a little trouble when I'm not saying that they're going to lose, but it may not be as easy. Certain
Yeah.
people will have to step up. Ings may have to step up. Ward-Prowse definitely has to step up. So they're going to, and there's no Sufal as well. So no Sufal, no, as I said, Paqueta, no Bowen, potentially no Bowen, and of course, as I said before, and then we know Antonio injury. I don't know if his injury is still bad, but he's out as well. So and then they were working with a makeshift defense because some of the defenders are out as well. So let's see. And Sheffield need the points. Sheffield at home. So things like that are something to pay attention to. Other teams that home right now, Liverpool, no Trent, no Salah. Now, yes, Jota came back. Gravenberg, these guys looking good. McAllister is back. Yes, they did well against Fulham today. Maybe that might not change much, but it is still something to pay attention to and to look at. They're going away to a difficult side. Bournemouth will be relishing playing Liverpool right now. Right? Relishing playing Liverpool right now.
And
So,
Bournemouth hasn't playing well. Bournemouth has been playing well with Solanke
and
being in that.
exactly. Right, exactly. I think they're only missing one, or they're missing one player. I think New Tara, they'll be missing that going up to AFCON. So definitely something to pay attention to, and to, as I said, try and be mindful of the kind of, but we'll go into all of that very soon. So let's tackle what you all really care about. Let's tackle what everyone really wants to discuss. We know you all want to discuss one thing and one thing only right now. So let's get straight into it. These are these are the important guys. These are the guys that are out. These are the guys that we are now trying to scramble now and replace or figure out what to do. For me, Paul, I will tackle the Bowen and Trent quicker than I tackle the Salah Son. Or maybe the Son, Bowen, Trent, and leave Salah. I will host only because of his price point. It'll be so difficult to bring him back in unless you go really cheap and you keep some funds in the bank, or you go really expensive and then you sell an expensive person for Salah. So yeah, I don't know. Yes, you're bringing a Haaland just to hold the funds to bring him, get him. I don't know. But let's talk replacements. We're not going to tell you what to do, but of course, we will discuss replacements. That's the best thing we could do right now, Paul. I don't know if you have any. I don't know where you want to start with first. You want to start with Bowen or anyone you want to start with? Replacements.
Well, let me start with the easiest one. I think this one, this is the most soccer. This is the one that most people would have been doing, and well, especially after the injury, they would have definitely been looking at. I mean, it makes the most sense, which is Trent, to Estupinian.
Okay,
You know,
definitely.
Estupinian has been the most popular defender. I mean, since he came back, in 2 game weeks ago, right? And as he come back on the scene, bam, he score a goal. You know, one
Returns.
time.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the following game, Brighton, who hadn't kept a clean sheet for the entire season, finally get one against West Ham, and he's obviously part of it as well. So, you know, 2 returns upon returning. And we all know what Estupinian brings to the table. We saw what he did last year. You know, very attacking defender. He's almost like a midfielder. You know, so he's out of all the defenders who we see out there, he's definitely the most attractive in terms of a replacement for Trent. And the fact that he's cheaper too, you know, helps as well. So it actually could be a blessing in disguise for some people, because people who would have been wondering, like, how are we going to get back Salah? How are we going to get back, you know, or if Haaland becomes available, how are we going to get the money for that? Well, there's a great option. Sell Trent. I mean, Trent is like 8.5 mil. Some people would have bought him for around 8 million. But you save a lot of money if you downgrade to Estupinian, if you decide to go that route and sell Trent one time. So yeah, Estupinian makes the most sense to me. And I forgot to mention as well, the fixtures are very good for Brighton coming up. They have the best fixture run for at least 7 or 8 games. So
I will. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Now, I want to jump on that. Trent to Estupinian, or dare I say it, Trent to Dotty as well too. Dotty from Luton. Luton have some very. I'm not gonna raise the eyebrows, but he has the form to back it up, and they also have decent fixtures as well. Luton fixtures are not terrible, and I think he will be. I think that's a good shout. I think definitely either Estupinian or Dotty is a good shout for 20%. Again, it helps with funds because they're not too expensive. Can help relieve some funds. So definitely that's someone that you all could you could consider they are Dotty or Estupinian. And good fixtures. And go ahead.
In some good form, you know, 2 assists, a clean sheet, I think, and another assist in the last 3 games for Luton. Something like that. I know he's returned in 3 straight games.
Yes.
Game he had 2 assists. It was a game against Chelsea. He got 2 assists, and very attacking, very another attacking fullback. And Luton has some good fixtures as well. And he's only 4.4 million, so he's also a very good option.
Right. No, so Brighton fixtures. Brighton are playing Wolves next. Then Brighton, and they're hosting Wolves. Then they go away to Luton. Then they host Crystal Palace. And then they go away to Spurs. So at least they get 3 decent games there. Luton go away to Burnley, which I think they could deal with. They host Brighton. And we know Luton Stadium is very claustrophobic and difficult to go to. Liverpool struggle, Arsenal struggle. Yes, they won, but they struggle, right? Just the other day, Chelsea almost gave away a game, almost gave away 3 points.
Yeah.
Right? Let's be very mindful of that. So I know you're thinking, but so it could, and a game that could be a very, very high scoring game. We've seen games end there 3-2, 3-all, 3-2 again. So it could be potentially a very high scoring game. And Luton are in their comfort zone right now, doing really well.
Yep.
And then they go away to Newcastle, and then they host Sheffield United. So you're with me there. A nice mixed bag of fixtures, not too bad. So again, might not be a bad shout for replacement. Dirty, Estupinian. Who else we can see? A next defender we haven't considered. I think that's the best options right now if you want to play the fixtures.
Yeah.
Because
if you do it, I mean, a lot of people will have Arsenal defenders now.
Correct.
But if you don't, I mean, Arsenal still a good option. They still have a few good fixtures, or even somebody. Yeah, I see like Alex Marino. But
yes,
a few
good shout. Well, very good shout.
Luca Dean at the moment. So Marino, and I don't think Cash has kind of fallen out of favor. So right now Marino, yeah, he has some playing time. So he could be another good shot as well.
Yeah, I'm not vexed with that at all. Very good shot. All right. The next one, who we want to tackle next? We have Salah, we have Son.
Let we go with Son.
Son.
Yeah, let's try Son.
So Son is definitely a sell for you. You will sell Son one time.
Yeah. Son is a sell. For me, I mean, well, that the thing about it, there's so many options. Starting with, let's start with his teammate Richarlison. I mean, Richarlison has been banging in the goals lately. He has 5 goals in the last 6 games since he's started to play up front. He's only 6.9 mil. Might probably move up to 7 mil soon, but the underlying, I mean, fixtures stats look good. Underlying stats look good. With Son out, they're going to probably focus on him a little bit more. The one caveat though with Richarlison is that he still made a move recently, and they bought Timo Werner.
Yes.
He's coming in on loan.
Yes.
So I mean, I don't expect him to start right away, but it does put a little damp on it. I mean, Richarlison was never a big minutes person anyway. He'll give you a good solid 60 to 70, but you wasn't always going to get 90 from him.
Correct.
So yeah, that's one thing you just had to put it in the back of your head. I mean, Werner won't start right away, but he will be shortly. So that's just the pros and cons of buying somebody like Richarlison. But he's one of the hotter options in terms of a replacement for Son. Who else we have? We have, well, obviously, if you don't have him, I mean, a lot of squads have him now. Palmer, Phil Foden, for City.
Yes.
He actually has the potential to have an upcoming double game week. Now, we know that Kevin De Bruyne is back and he's healthy, but from what I heard, from his own mouth, actually, the reports coming out from City is that they're looking to ease him back in, and he doesn't expect to start playing a lot of minutes. He wants to be careful. He doesn't want to, re-aggravate, injure himself. So I expect Pep to work him back in, not try to give him too much minutes or start him right away. He just played a few minutes in the FA Cup. So, I think Foden's place is still pretty good. I think the person who might be more at risk, especially if Haaland returns, is Alvarez.
Yes, correct.
Foden presents the ability to play either on the wings or in the middle. So the odd man out in that case could either be Alvarez or Grealish. So yeah, I think Foden is a good option as well. A little more expensive than Richarlison and Palmer, but he's been playing well. He's been playing lights out for City.
And he has been the main talisman right now.
Yeah, he's been their main talisman. He gets into good positions. He's a creative force, for City. He's been getting the assists. He didn't get any goals last week, and look at that, he still ended up with 12 points. So
Correct.
definitely a
Correct.
good option.
Now,
Who else we have?
what about someone a little differential? So I just throwing out a wild name here. What about someone like an
Mhm.
Eze?
Yeah,
No,
as it could work.
no, my only problem with suggesting those kind of players right now, because when you look at it, it's scraps right now, real scraps. Because again, AFCON, Asia Cup injuries. Crystal Palace is the next team that can be affected by this international duty because no IU. And in recent times, IU has been the main man. So Eze has to step up now because no Elise, no IU. So Eze has to step up. Now, I must say they've been doing their thing once in a while, but he has to step up. Has to
Yeah,
step up.
yeah.
And that,
I, I, I would have
maybe.
I would have liked Eze if Olise was there. I could have lived with
Right,
Olise
right.
and Eze. Olise,
Yeah.
Olise being out on top of the fact that I'm missing IU is a lot to overcome. Right? I don't know if Crystal Palace. I don't know if Eze himself have it in him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
And
good shout. It's a good if you want to go
yeah,
differential.
if you want to
Yeah.
go differential and try something. But that's the only issue with that.
Yeah.
These guys, they're missing the key
Oh,
guys that make them tick.
and another guy like that too. Jota. Jota is another one too that we could look at. I mean,
That's a great
as
shout.
mentioned before, Liverpool a little, without Salah, without Trent, might not be the same quality, but I mean they still have some good players around, and Jota is back. Um,
Yeah.
the only thing with Jota now is the playing time. How much playing time he will
Minute.
have?
Yeah.
Liverpool is deep enough; they could still, rotate players. Like today
Yeah.
they started, and they had Darwin on the bench, Darwin and Gapco. But then in the Premier League, Pep might go Diaz, Gapco, Nunez. He have a different set of combinations he could use.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with Jota. Jota is a good player though. I mean, as you could tell, even when he comes off the bench, he could still give you returns as
Impact. Yeah.
what he did in the last game. He's an impact player. So
Yeah.
it's a tough one. It's a tough one, really and truly. You have so many options. Pascal Gross is another one from Brighton.
Yes.
Who, who,
Definitely.
I,
Good
who
shout.
I'm actually looking at. He is right. Has been. I mean, Brighton have some injuries as well that's affected them. No Adringa, no Mitoma.
Yeah.
So and Pascal Gross actually, believe it or not, he was the leading point getter for Brighton last year. He's actually leading this year as well. He always creating chances. He always need ticker things. He on corners, free kicks. Um, he's another good option as well, and he's been very consistent as of late too with the returns. So he's another midfielder option as well you could look at. It's just so many different options, and of course the fixtures for Brighton are real good.
Yeah. All right. So that's another good shout there. Now, what do we do with Salah? Do we hold Salah? Is it that Salah too expensive? I don't want to risk it. Do we just bench Salah? Now, the problem with that, some people, if they hold Salah, they might not have anything on the bench because they'll have forced to just have him on the field.
Yeah, it's a
And play what
tough one.
10? Was it minimum you're willing to play with Paul? If you're in a desperate situation, you don't want to take any money hits. You tell yourself, I don't want to take any hits. You have one free transfer. You do what you got to do. You're willing to play with 10, at least 9 men, minimum 9 men.
Yeah, I don't mind 10, 9 or 10. Um, you see, this week is funny, because I mean, although yes, we're looking forward and we don't know what could potentially happen, it's also a week where you could make a lot of headway too because a lot of the big hitters missing. So a potential, a little short term punt on a differential. This might be the week to do it to try something. So I don't mind taking a hit just to beef up the squad a little bit. I'll be more hesitant to take it for a defender. A defender might
Right.
be where I might pause a little bit and be like, let me hold on to Trent a little bit longer, but it hard because there's so many players that missing, so many teams that have flags, you know. Um So I don't know. It is a difficult one to call. As I said before, it's usually team dependent. Is basically what your team needs, at the time. For me personally, I mean, I have a lot of injuries, but I think I could make it with one transfer. I could survive with one transfer, but I don't know. I toy in with the taking the -4 right now, but I don't want to take too much hits trying to make up numbers. If I could go with
Exactly.
10 players, then yeah, 10 is cool.
All right. So the best salary placement. That's a tough one because you went through most
Well,
of the top
well,
midfielders there.
yeah. Actually, we should have pieced together Salah and Son, because
Yeah,
most midfield options you're looking at could replace either one. I
yeah,
personally, I would hold on to Salah. I
same.
would hold on to Salah because it have so much value tied up in one, and then two. Um, I mean, we thinking best case scenario for Egypt, but what if Egypt gets knocked out in the qualifiers? There are teams like
Correct.
Morocco,
In the group
there's teams,
stages. Yeah,
some
yeah,
good, yeah, there's some good teams. I mean, they could probably get past the groups. I don't think the group is a tough group, but what if they get knocked out a little early in the second round or the quarterfinals? Salah could return, and then Liverpool. There's a possibility as well that Liverpool could have a double game week in 25. So it's something to think about, and then you're wondering if you could get back to Salah too. You know, that's the thing about it. So me personally, I think it's a good idea to hold on to Salah and see what happens. It's a lot of money to hold, but at the end of the day, you had to think a little long term as well.
yeah.
You know.
And as we said, there's a lot of scenarios to maneuver because obviously the best scenario would have been that Liverpool and Chelsea got knocked out of the cups that they're in right now and free up 29. So 29 is not too much. There's not too much blanks in 29 because there are going to be a lot of blanks very soon if these teams
Mhm.
keep up. And then, of course, no Salah, no Trent, that could affect the assets that you would have wanted to dive on, like a Jota or Diaz. It may not. It may not. It may help. And then we saw today that a Bradley, let me get the proper name. There was the inclusion of a Connor Bradley who played today. Maybe might be a decent cheap alternative for now. We'll see, have to see how much minutes he gets in the interim because they are suffering for fullbacks right now. Because we see Gomez
Mhm.
playing on one side, playing on the other side. Now there's
Yes,
no
I think
Trent.
Robertson injured, Trent
Right,
injured. So
Simicas, Robertson, Trent.
yeah, that's
So
true. Yeah,
that might
yeah.
be a nice cheap. We was looking for those fodders. You never know. Fodder will start or fodder will do something. So that is something to consider as well. Now, the most
Mhm.
difficult question for the game week.
Yeah, Captain Pick. This is a
This
tough
is the
one.
most difficult one. This one is tough. But
This
what
is
we'll
where
do,
this is where you're -4. If you really want to make your -4, payback for you, this is where you could take a little cheeky punt on a captaincy.
we'll answer this question by doing, let me see, we'll answer this question by trying to make a team for the week. We'll answer this question by making a team. By doing that, we will answer that question. So let's get straight into that. We'll round off the show with that. So we'll go down to the end with this. Let's try and select a team for the game.
Hmm.
Let's see.
This, this,
No,
gonna be real,
go
this gonna be
ahead.
real science. This is gonna be real science.
I'm telling you, plenty of times because I'm wondering if to do it with the real life situations in the sense of maybe leave those two flagmen there and just play with what I'll be 9, play with 9 or play with 10. At least play with 10,
this
obvious.
is this is the YouTube team. The YouTube team we're
Yeah.
talking about it.
No,
Okay,
this
okay.
is just our predictive
Or this
team.
is a random.
Yeah, just a
Oh, okay.
predictive team. So I'm wondering because the UT team I'm leaving just as we could pull that up just now, but this is just a team of players that we think will bang this week, according to the fixtures,
Okay.
according to
Right.
what we think who we think will bang and perform well. And of course, we're trying to show the replacements. So we replace Trent. Well, I already have Salah and Son out of this team. So maybe I might get some ideas here. Maybe. I've definitely, we could probably sell Bowen and bring Cole Palmer. We could do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I know Cole Palmer's on everybody's lips, so we can definitely do something like that. All right. So Bowen could go to Cole Palmer. What else you would change on this? So if you had to change Trent, so we said Trent, let's go to that's the most, I think that's the most obvious one.
Trent Stupinian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most obvious one. All right, so we got the obvious ones out the way. Who must you have in your team this game week, despite all the chaos going on? Who must you, in your opinion, Paul, is a must-have this game week? That you're not seeing here on this field right now, on this team right
now. Where to start? Where should we start? Anywhere?
Midfield. Anywhere you want to start.
All right. I'm looking at this from my phone, so I kind of trying to make out the midfield a little bit. Who's next between Foden and?
So it's Jota, Johnson, Foden, Odegaard, Palmer.
Oh, Johnson. Okay. For me, they could take out Johnson.
Okay.
And I know they're playing Man United, but you know, if you want a even better matchup, you know, because Man United have been a little decent, and the game will be in Old Trafford, so it might not be the, you know, big high scoring game that we might expect. Yeah, maybe they tough it out. But if I was to take someone instead of Johnson, we say you have Foden already, you have Jota, probably Gross.
Okay, so Pascal, yes. Yeah, I like that shot.
Yeah.
I actually like that shot.
He's not heavily owned, you know, it's a nice differential. And
very nice
he's a big part of everything Brighton does.
Yeah, definitely. So this can answer a few questions for some people in terms of Salah, Son replacement, Bowen replacements. This could be, you know, you could probably swap out Odegaard, put in Saka if you feel so inclined, playing against I don't want to say a weakened Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace definitely are missing some key players. But we know that never stops Palace. They're always up for a game against us.
Arsenal need a result. They need to
and
get it going.
Arsenal not scoring right now. So and Saka is the only one right now that could do something. So if you want to jump on that, not a bad Saka might not be a half bad captain shout as well. Might not be.
Although I like Odegaard as well. Odegaard gets in some positions. He's been a little unlucky actually, I find, these last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He's been getting some shots here the bar in recently against was it Fulham? Yeah.
Yes, Fulham.
So yeah, I mean I wouldn't mind leaving Odegaard.
Okay. David with Poro, with Gabriel.
Maybe you could try Doughty.
All right, pick up the Doughty. Poro instead of Gabriel. Instead of Poro.
Instead of Poro, yeah. So you have somebody. I feel like Man U could score in that matchup. I mean, although Poro is attacking, but he could give you a goal or assist.
Yeah, he could definitely help.
But I like Doughty, how Doughty's been looking, and that's a good matchup for Luton against Burnley. You know, I think like Luton. I feel for me personally, I feel like Luton better than Burnley. Although the game is in turf more. You know, I still feel like
they have not been super terrible at home, huh? They have not been too terrible at home. So yeah, I agree.
But I expect that to be a good game in terms of maybe Doughty getting some attacking returns. You know, Luton like to put the ball in the box and use their size. So player like Doughty could get an assist at Adebayo. You know.
Definitely. Oh, Adebayo, definitely someone that could cause some trouble. Definitely.
Yeah, he's a big target in that box. So, you know, definitely you could try somebody like Doughty.
Yes.
But why?
I don't know why they're not giving him a Doughty here. I'll put that in just now. But yeah. Doty's not a bad shout.
Yeah. Keeper.
Keepers. Yeah, who's the best keeper for this game week?
Oh, yeah, this is a tough call.
If you're looking at the fixtures, so Villa playing Everton. If you're looking at fixtures, I don't.
Yeah.
But Kaminsky mightn't be a bad shout. Could probably get some safe points.
But yeah, double up on
Yeah, that's doubling up.
Who else? What are the other matchups looking like? Have you look at the other matchups and see?
So you have so Arsenal, Palace, of course, Villa, Everton, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Brighton, Wolves, Burnley, Luton, Chelsea, Fulham, Petrovic might be a bad shout. Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Everton, Villa, Fulham, Liverpool, Luton, as I said, City against going away to Newcastle. Wait, who's question? Who replaces Onana? Who's your? I don't know your second keeper. Forgive my ignorance. Who's Manu? Second keeper.
I cannot pronounce his name. You have to forgive me. A Turkish guy. He's not bad. He's a pretty good keeper. But the thing about it though is Onana isn't going as yet.
Right away. Right. Oh, so they got through with that. They got through with that. Okay.
Yeah. The last thing I heard is that Onana will be playing that game against Spurs. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's so difficult to call because nobody keeps clean sheets. They're struggling to keep clean sheets right now.
Except Ariola.
Ariola's been keeping clean sheets.
Ariola might be a good.
I feel like he do not keeping a clean sheet this week. Who was that? Sheffield United.
Yeah, Sheffield. You never know. You never know.
But it's in Sheffield. If it was home, I would say
in London. Yeah. All right. I go to that end. We can fight up with that.
We go to Ariola.
But the most important question: who do we captain on this team?
Watkins, Alvarez.
That is the question.
It's a tough call. It's a really tough
call. Big up Antonio. So you saying -8?
Gosh, nah, boy. -8, that's plenty, boy.
That's plenty.
It's a tough call. To me, it looks like Palmer. Palmer has been in good form recently. I mean, Chelsea, Chelsea's, you never know what to expect with Chelsea. One day they could give you a good, next day it could be bad. But usually when they're good is because Cole Palmer is doing his thing.
Yes.
I mean, it is at home against Fulham, And the one big thing, another point I wanted to make, because the game week is spaced out over 10 days, you never know what could happen. A man could get injured in training. So a good shot for captaincy is putting it on somebody who playing early.
Saturday or Friday, correct.
Friday. So maybe Cole Palmer might make the most sense.
Correct.
If you want to toss it up, it's between Palmer, Saka, and Watkins.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that point because those we'll get the press conferences and the most pertinent information for those games that are right there. So if it is that you could, as best as possible, try to put the captaincy on someone that is playing as Friday, because the game week is Friday, starts Friday or Saturday. Yeah. So at least your heart not in your hand and you're comfortable. Yeah. You're not.
Yeah, you don't want to hear you play on a man and then he gets here. Oh gosh, he gets sick. He get the flu. He out. He sprained his ankle. He knock his foot into the coffee table. Yeah, you want to get that kind of news during the middle of the game week.
Exactly.
Better Palmer to me makes the most sense. Palmer.
By that logic, your options are of course Palmer, or you could do a Foden like we did last week, or you could do Alvarez. They are playing early, so not bad shot. So I love that. I love that point.
I mean, although Newcastle is at home, they've been struggling a little bit.
Correct.
I mean, they're getting back some players. They got a little rest over this period, so maybe they could be a little better. But I still feel as if City finding back their form, I feel you could try something with Foden or Alvarez.
Yeah.
That could be a good shout as well.
All right, so our game week 21 team that we expect to do well, our scout team, Areola in goal, Estupinian, Gabriel, Doty, Palmer's captain, Odegaard, Foden, Gross, Diogo Jota, Alvarez, and Watkins. Now, of course, you can also use these guys to answer all the questions of who do you replace Trent with, who do you replace Bowen, Salah, and Son with. Now, of course, we will advising you to hold Salah. That's our piece of advice or 2 cents on the matter. Of course, you can sell Son. Not a huge problem with that.
I can make one more shout out.
Of course, man.
I've seen people throwing his name around, and he could be a real big differential too. And I'm not saying it because I'm a Man United fan. Let me just say that before I say the Garnacho.
Garnacho, yeah.
At 4.8 million, he will be a steal of a deal. If he could give you something, while Salah, or especially if you want to go take out Salah to Garnacho, that is real money you're saving there, and you could always easily, transition right back to Salah in one move, if you went that route.
Look, in that case, let me show you something crazy.
Yeah.
Let me show you something, because if that's what you want to do.
Because United the fixtures not bad, eh? Even that Spurs game is not bad game because Spurs is giving up goals. So
okay, let me show you something.
Yeah.
So let me show you something. This is one of my so as you know, I have a few teams, right? This is I call it my C team. Now, as you can see, no flags, and I try to use differentials. So anyone watching that one, now you see who's there. You see who's in the team.
Yeah. Right? Garnacho.
I had him since the banger. No, after the banger, I think he got an assist. He assisted Rashford since. So I don't know if this would help anybody that's watching. Even my bench has players that are playing. If you're thinking of someone,
I didn't even talk about Douglas Luiz.
Right?
That's Neto.
Neto. No, Sarabia. So
Sarabia. Yeah. Sorry, Sarabia. Yeah.
So Pickford in goal, Smith from Bournemouth, Evans, Ake, Sarabia from Wolves, Douglas Luiz, Harrison from Everton, Garnacho, Clivert, Darwin, Wood, and then of course you have Jose Sa, Morris, White, Shaw on the bench, all playing.
Yeah. That's a real difference.
This is a differential. Right? This is one of the teams I just do craziness with. Not too bad. I just try to be differential, but I try to get the differentials are doing well and have high potential. So I don't know if this helps anybody out. If you're looking for some weird names or just something quick, maybe this can help you out. Maybe. Right? So this is my crazy differential.
I like Garnacho, and especially Clivert. Clivert has been looking good too for Bournemouth. I like those two picks.
And sometimes you chase Solanke and other guys are the ones that popping up. So you never know. I'm trying to catch everybody. And then I Senesi for a while, so I went Smith. Because I love Senesi, but no Senesi for a while. So Senesi was the big one for the while. So I hope that crazy differential team helps people out. All right, so before we go, almost 7, doing good on time. Let's look back here now. Okay, so as I said, fortunately, our YouTube team is not in too much trouble. If I want, so right now, let me do it now. I can do this. And then if I want, I can do this. And I can do this. Well, I can leave it like that. Well, let's do this.
Actually, wouldn't mind a Gusto.
Yeah.
Gusto
well, instead of a Gabriel or something, because he might be, Gabriel might concede. Because Arsenal conceded.
Actually, no, I mean, you go 4-4-2, you know. Gusto inside of Archer. I find Gusto looking real good for Chelsea, boy. Like, he could give you attack in return.
Right.
Yeah, besides
so far he's not flagged, right? Because I think there was a potential. He was taken off as a precaution, right? As a cautionary.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good, yeah. He's good, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so, thankfully, our team is not too bad. Our YouTube team, this is the team that we use here for the channel. Areola, Gabriel, Doty, Pedro Porro, Gusto, Odegaard, Foden, Johnson, Diogo Jota, Alvarez, and Watkins. I may leave the captaincy on Foden. What do you think about that, Paul?
Yeah, that looking real good.
Yeah.
That looked like a real good option.
So this is
Then
what we are going with. And then I have Paul's potential. Right. So Paul, let me just remove this.
yeah.
Right. So Paul, you sent your team to me. So you have Flecken, Pedro Poroshenko, Gusto, Son, Saka, Palmer, Foden, Solanke, Darwin, and Watkins. So walk us through the thought process here before we sign off.
Well, I as you could tell, I still have Salah, I still have Son. I haven't made any transfers yet. I just waiting to make sure I get all the information possible.
Correct.
Well, as you see in the structure there, Salah will be on the bench. And the one transfer I might make is Son out to maybe Pascal Gross or Garnacho.
Right.
You know, I'm still toying with the idea of which one exactly I might go with. Zinchenko, although he is flagged, I think he has a calf injury. Well, you could inform me as an Arsenal fan.
Yes.
I don't know how serious it is. But I probably what I'll do is I'll keep him there because Arsenal don't play until the 20th, so there's still time for him to recover.
Correct.
And Tomiyasu is off to the Asian Cup, so I'm sure Arsenal will be trying their best to make sure he's healthy for the Premier League game.
Yeah.
Instead of starting Jacob.
Or Cedric.
What's his name? Q. Oh, yeah.
But he has not been it right now on that side, not at all. Yeah.
I really don't want to take a hit for a defender. Everything else could stay the same. If it is a force to, if I do decide last minute to take a hit, what I'll do is just bench Zinchenko and take out Luka Dean and bring in Estupinian.
What do you think about what's he leads on Cash? Because Cash is not half bad idea too. I think he scored a free goal the other day for them, the last minute goal, the winner the other day. I know it was a little fluky, deflected and whatnot, but I mean back in the free, and they need that outlet. You never know.
I guess so. Yeah, it could be a good call, you know, but I personally wouldn't take the chance.
Yeah, I understand.
If I was to go side to side, would be Luka Dean to Marino. I think Marino a little more.
Yeah,
you know, encouraging.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
But yeah, so far that's my thoughts. You know, I still weighing the possibilities of which midfielder to bring in. Definitely not Bowen. You know, and I want to try to go differential. So either Garnacho or Pascal Gross.
Yeah. All right. So as we winding on there, Paul, solid piece of advice for Game Week 21. I know it's difficult, but what you have there for the people? What you can tell them?
Wait. Don't make any transfers yet. You know, just wait as long. When is the deadline? Friday, right?
Yep.
Friday at 2:45, I believe, or 1:45 p.m.
Friday at Friday at 2:45 our time. EST.
Try and get as much information as possible before you make your transfers. And also, but at the same time, also you don't have to go gung ho on transfers as we alluded to earlier. You know, you never know the what they call it, the picture is still unfolding. The picture is still being drawn out in terms of
what story still continues.
It's still shaping. You know, so you know, try as much as you could to hold up on transfers. Don't look too far ahead. You know, if it is you need to and you really have to on your team, you have some players to put out. You know, try to put them out, but try your best to see if you could save your transfers. You know, if you're in a position where you could, try and see how best you can manage work your team around it. You know, that being said, it is a good week, as I said before, to make some headway. You know, with Salah, Son, all the big hitters out. You know, if you pick the right differential, it could work out in your favor too. Especially if you're doing a minus four for attacker. You know, if it is you're confident enough, you could put a captaincy trial or something on one of them. But it's a nice week to try something as well.
For sure. And of course, usual piece of advice, click that save button. This is definitely week to click that save button. Do not Do not forget to set your team. Set the bus team now. If it's just 8 players, set them right now. Put all your playing players on the field right now. Best thing you could do right now. And then, of course, wait for the news. As Paul said brilliantly earlier, try to put your captaincy on someone early. So and pay attention to all the pressers and whatnot that will be happening Thursday. So at least you have an idea of what's happening for those first 3 games. Those are the most important games for the game week. I will target those games because there's nothing else you could do once the game week starts. Just watch the injuries unfold if someone picks up something in training or something like that. So you definitely don't want your hand in mouth. Okay. Of course, too. Don't forget, AFCON starts this weekend. We have our league going on. I'll try and put in the description. You can check all our socials. We are on Instagram or Twitter. I'll be code all about. We have our video out. You can check out our video. We will do a last-minute Tinker video on Friday discussing AFCON and discussing all the players that come in or that are injured or that are playing well or the prospects that we were looking at. We'll try and highlight everyone and fine-tune our teams for that game. You can, of course, don't forget to join the league. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for your support, guys. We just needed to drop likes and raise our to raise our awareness around on the algorithm, right? Thank you very much, guys. Thanks, Paul, for coming through. Hope your captain score hat trick. May arrows be green. Happy picking, guys.
Yeah, man.